Alright, back at it again with another video in the Road to $100,000 series, and this series is coming towards an end. There's not a whole lot of runway left until we hit that goal. So as you can see, for the returns so far, with 45,000 euros put in on my end, let's put it up on screen right now, I managed to generate 61,000 euros. And when I started this series, the Revolut, the platform that I used, they had dollars, so we talked about dollars, and now they're switching it to euros. But I'm gonna use a quick currency converter and take a look and just put in the title how close we are. So that was the video that you clicked on, and let's talk about a little bit what's been going on since I recorded a video back in Thailand talking about some nice juicy October dividends. So that was October 2025. Man, time just flies. As I'm recording this, it's early February of 2026. Man, oh man, you just blink and the time goes by. And back then I spoke about purchasing United Health, Novo Nordisk, and have I been doing that? Yes indeed. Let's just get the holdings up on screen right now. And as you can see, I have been extremely unlucky, or perhaps lucky, you know, finding the opportunity. Depends on how you see it, glass half full or half empty. But I saw a nice ride up, 30-40% gains on these positions. And then some bad news for United Health in terms of Medicare. Just an increase of 0.09% in how much the government would contribute there for 2027. So that was a proposal, not even something that he put into actual policy. And that stock absolutely tanked on the day of that announcement, together with a bunch of other health insurance companies. So not the nicest sight to see. And then we saw, of course, Novo Nordisk releasing guidance a bit early, just one day ahead of their earnings call. By the way, that's today as I'm recording this video. I will take a look at that one later today and record a video, so you can find that separately here on the channel as well. But just a slight loss on those positions as of right now, setting me back a little bit on reaching those $100,000. Don't worry guys, we're gonna get there, and we'll probably make the next series, the next video on this series from Colombia, because it's very cold here in Ireland right now. Now the top holding, MPW, I used to say in all of the other videos, well, they are changing the ticker to MPT. This is a strategic rebranding, in my opinion. There's been some negative publicity back in the day, and if you're a new investor and you're taking a look at that company, reading those headlines, well, perhaps capital is less likely to flow. Well, now with the rebranding, fresh start, new operators into those hospitals, a dividend increase, well, perhaps 2026 is going to be the years where we see some nice capital gains on that position, and not only gains in the form of dividend. They have been paying out some hefty dividends, especially for me, who in this dividend portfolio I have 8,000 something, 8,000, yeah, you see it on screen, they show the total amount, and multiply that by 0.09 for every single share. Well, that adds up. I get some serious amounts of dollars in dividends. Perhaps if I can manage to find it on Revolut, I will put the dividends up there on screen as well, so you can see some of the payouts that have been ONL. We've seen some nice development with them partnering with Kava for business development. Very positive for capital gains in terms of the increase in share price for that company, although dividend has been very slow. 2 cents a share have they been paying me, so not the highest dividend payer for sure. Anyways, that's been it, commenting a little bit on the top holdings, some of the setbacks. What about the future then, Andreas? Where will you continue to put your paycheck to get to those 100,000 American dollars as quickly as possible? Well, I will continue to buy Novo Nordisk on the current levels. I watched the CEO talk a little bit, and why do we see this lowered guidance for them? By the way, they lowered for 5 times in a row now. They have lowered guidance, and he spoke about the man in the orange house, you know, the deal to lower drug prices to make it more affordable for Americans with GLP-1s. And yes, this will hit profits short term, but then this will create a tailwind long term, in the opinion of the CEO, with more people being able to afford GLP-1 drugs, and in this case from Novo Nordisk. What they are seeing right now is that 90% of the people who are using the oral drug is actually buying the smallest dosage. So this tells us as investors that, alright, we can assume low cannibalization on injectables right now. So they are not eating their own market share, they are creating new market share in terms of new GLP-1 users. And of course, you know, I do it for the long term, I invest for the long term, and that's why I will continue to put money into Novo Nordisk. I believe that people getting too fat is not going anywhere. I mean, just look at me taking a walk here, getting out of breath, just walking, talking to the camera. And that's me trying, you know, to keep the weight down. It's a big problem in society, and with Novo Nordisk, people are continuing to take the drug because weight gain come back if you stop taking the GLP-1 drug. So they are continuing to see people subscribing to their medication. It's a lifelong cure, basically, prevention cure to not see obesity creep up on you. So very, very profitable business to be in, and thus the business that I will vote for with my capital, put my hard-earned money into, to hopefully see some nice returns that will take the portfolio, you know, to the goal of this series. Alright, that's been it for this video, and as always, hope you guys make a ton of money, whatever investments you decide to make. Take care now, bye bye.